lights go out, the race gets underway. Here it's a pretty good start from Peter Belzy in the Green Spider. You could see a bit further back, but the top three, with that gap behind them, already clear of the rest. It's Harbert that's going to lead. No, it's not Harbert that's going to lead. It's Matt Hyde, I think, that's going to lead through Rich's Corner for the first time, from Harbert in second place. And then we'll see if it's Craig Bell in third as they head down towards us. Yes, in fact, it's Harbert that's down to third, isn't it? So Craig Bell has gone into second. So you've got the two championship leaders together already as they round the Wilton hairpin for the first time. When you look at some of the star cars, including the film director Florian Cowton back there, having his first taste of Formula V towards the back of the field. But the leaders already through Palmer and heading down towards Agostini for the first time in this race. There a bit further back is the number 8 car of Ross Price, who was a retirement from the race yesterday. As the back markers coming through the leaders already on their way down to Agostini and through Hamilton indeed, and on towards Oggies for the first time in this race.
Farmer's into third, Ian, so he's also got past Matt Harbot, but in all of that the top two have got away. So has the rain just concerned Matt a little bit, Matt Harbot, who's lost out, where Hyde and the chasing car Bell have got away. Battle for third though is pretty strong, it must be said, with Martin Farmer coming back under pressure once more from those chasing, and it's free abreast. To the inside comes Peter Studer, who's made a really good start from 8th on the grid, and to the outside was looking Matt Harbert, but it's Hyde and Bell who've really got away early on. Farmer's somehow held on to third. Studer, Belzy also through. Matt Harbert's down to 6th now. A terrible first lap for the poleman. Studer goes third on the inside of Farmer, who gets pushed a little bit wide. And they're going to be pretty much free abreast now as they come up towards Coram, which they're going to have to sort themselves out because you can't do that all the way through. And Martin Farmer's backed right out of it, Ian.
Yeah, he's gone back to about 6th position. Vaughan Jones making some progress here as well in number 3. He started, I think, 14th on the grid, so he's come up the order a little bit as well. The highest placed returning driver from last year's championship. The two leads have gone through, 7/10 of a second between number 51 Matthew Hyde and 99 Craig Bell, but then 4 seconds back to Peter Studer third, Peter Belzy 4th, Matt Harbert 5th, Martin Farmer 6th, and then Vaughan Jones 7th, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th all together.
Yeah, I just wonder if that rain before the race put a few people off, and we've seen some real changes on that opening lap. Peter Studer there in third, Matt Harbert's on the inside of Peter Belzy, can't quite make it. Some battles behind there as Ben Cressy gets around the outside of Louis Skull. Francis Twyman also involved in that battle. He's also made a really good start because he was in 16th and on the grid. He's into something like the top 10. Vaughan Jones, the other good starter in all of that. So Vaughan Jones making his way through, the driver who's had one podium this season, as they turn their way down towards Agostini hairpin. He can't quite get past the multiple champion Martin Farmer, who's still there in what is 6th position now, but the three in front getting away, including the poleman Matt Harbert, who's right on the tails of the experienced Peters, Studer and Belzy, but they are some 4 seconds behind the leading two, the two championship contenders, making that really very rapid opening lap. Matthew Hyde, the teenager Craig Bell behind him, trying to keep with him in the tow. That car a little bit slipperier through the air. Craig Bell with the aero modifications he has made, so he knows if he can get close enough to Hyde, he should be able to draft past him. And equally, Matt Hyde knows he needs to make a gap for third. Belzy to the outside of Studer, and can he get through? Belzy was second yesterday, and he is alongside in the former championship winning Spider, Peter Studer in the TCR Challenger, two of the older cars on the grid, and Studer hangs on the outside in third.
Oh, with various amounts of green on those cars, haven't they, as well? And Martin Farmer, I could see in the background, he might have been losing his position to Vaughan Jones as well. Leaders have gone through then through Murray's. They're about to complete their second lap of the race. Yes, Vaughan Jones there in the number 3 Storm. The driver from Abergavenny is now ahead of Martin Farmer, the man from Sutton Coldfield. As it's going to be side by side for third place over the line. Peter Belzy alongside Peter Studer there. Belzy will be on the outside. In fact, they're going to go 3 wide up into Rich's Corner. And is it Harbert that's going to go through? Yes, it is. So he got the double toe there. He's gone from 5th to 3rd. Belzy is up into, well, it stays in 4th effectively. It's Studer down to 5th. But now Vaughan Jones with them too.
Yeah, we fought Belsey round the outside to get third by the looks of it, and Jones round the outside to get fifth. We fought the toe into Ritchie's, who's going to be strong today with that headwind into turn one. That proves to be the case, and Peter Belsey is third. They're 7 seconds behind the leaders now after just a couple of laps. That's as big as the gap was yesterday between Hyde and Bell and the rest, so that's quite formidable. The top two have done while the battles have been going on behind. Belsey then third with Harbert back looking to the inside. They are wheel to wheel, but Peter Belsey on the outside hangs on in third position. There's lots more cars involved in this battle, including Vaughan Jones, who is still alongside and now moves ahead, this time with Matt Harbert. So this is an incredible race by Vaughan Jones. Okay, we've seen him on the podium this year, Ian, but this is his best drive for sure, from 14th on the grid.
Yeah, it's like whether he's got something changed on the car. He seems to be a bit more confident with everything this weekend. He's going to lose out against Matt Harbert here, possibly through Williams and onto the Bentley straight, runs out wide onto some of the green stuff there on the exit of the corner, but tries to stay wheel to wheel, and then they're going to go possibly 3 wide heading down the Bentley straight. You've got Peter Studer involved as well. Peter Belsey in the Green Spider is getting away from them in third place, but who's going to turn into Brundle in fourth place? It's going to be Studer ahead of Vaughan Jones, number 3 in fifth. Matt Harbert, number 33 in sixth place. Martin Farmer trying to get back on terms with him in seventh, ahead of Maurice Gloucester, number 94 in the GAC. There goes Harbert inside Vaughan Jones through the bomb hole, so he does take the place away. And then also involved there, you've got Ben Cressy is not quite involved in. Oh no, he is involved in this because he's just getting ahead of Maurice Gloucester possibly on the way into Murray's as well.
Yeah, great positional changes. Meanwhile, the top two's the same. They're going quicker than yesterday. Low 11s today. Hyde 7 tenths as he has been all race basically ahead of Craig Bell. But it's a battle for third that may be 10 seconds behind, but that is the more interesting one with Peter Belsey ahead of Studer. Then Harbert and Jones still side by side are Maurice Gloucester and Ben Cressy. Cressy, the driver in Derbyshire, and he started racing 3 seasons ago in this self-prepared Storm that was won the championship a few years ago by with Ben Maludi at the wheel, involved in that battle with Maurice Gloucester, who drives the number 94 GAC. So that's a good battle at the tail of this dice. It's being headed then by Peter Belsey in the car that won the championship about 20 years ago in the hands of Jez Clark, who lives down the road from the circuit here at Snetterton, being chased by Peter Studer, who's looking to the inside. Matt Harbert, he's in 5th position again, the position where he's finished so many times this year. He will be so keen, Ian, to get up onto the podium.
Yep, and he's got a chance here, doing battle with Peter Belsey and Peter Studer as they make their way down to Oggies once again. This is lap 4 of what's going to be more than likely a 7-lap race, assuming we get a full 15 minutes of running. They turn their way through. That's the TCR Challenger of Studer on screen, who we've not seen for a while before this weekend, but good to have him back out with us, and very competitive as well. Martin Farmer has fallen back a bit, hasn't he, from this group now. Vaughan Jones is now on his own, and Farmer's quite a long way behind him, but still ahead of Maurice Gloucester, as Harbert trying to get up at the inside into Brundle of the number 5 car of Studer. Couldn't quite make that work. If anything, as Studer defended, they've both lost out a little bit to Belsey.
Yes, Belsey was able to get away yesterday when they battled, so are we going to see a similar situation develop here, perhaps? Meanwhile, the leaders across the line, just a gap check there. It's 9 tenths now, a new fastest lap of the weekend for Matthew Hyde, a 2 minutes 11.14. Long way ahead of Belsey in P3, who's across the line now. They're side by side behind because Matt Harbert's used the slipstream and he pulls out of the toe. He's on the outside line and he slots ahead of Peter Studer. By the time they get to the very quick opening corner here at Snetterton, Ritchie's corner, and he's gone through then into 4th for now, Matt Harbert. Behind, Vaughan Jones is still 6th. Everybody is 7th behind. And Martin Farmer is under pressure, this time from Ben Cressy. Maurice Gloucester's outbraked himself. He's run really wide, so that's going to allow Louis Scholes to slot up into 9th position. Louis, who was up in 3rd position in his first ever car race at Donington Park.
Yeah, Gloucester almost gave himself a long lap penalty there, didn't he, as they get in the superbikes. Gloucester in the ex-Aaron Trigwell Car still sporting that same number, but here is the fight for 7th place then. Ben Cressy in number 11, the car that won the championship in the hands of Ben Maludi a few years ago. The Storm is up on the inside of Martin Farmer now, and he's got through to P7 now. And Louis Scholes, number 50, might challenge Martin Farmer as well, as Scholes, who had a good podium in the wet in his first meeting at Donington, having driven on the only circuit he'd tested at, in the only conditions he'd tested at. It's been a bit more of a challenge since then, but he's just got a place away from the 4-time champion Martin Farmer. So Louis Scholes improving all the time in the number 50 Dominator.
I wonder if all is not well with Martin Farmer's car. He's 2.5 seconds slower than yesterday. And it's a very unlike Martin Farmer type of race, this, isn't it? He's just fallen back during the course of the race and is in the type of position you just would not expect. 9th position and not on the pace, where the leaders are going quicker than yesterday. Louis Scholes had a big moment there, and he's run very wide. He's up the curb, just about stayed on the road. Maurice Gloucester trying to get involved as well, couldn't quite make it though. They're only at bomb hole as the race leaders start their penultimate lap. They're in the 10s now, so we're getting much quicker pace out of Matthew Hyde and Craig Bella. 2:10.93. That's almost a couple of seconds. They went quicker than in qualifying even yesterday, so that is pretty remarkable stuff. And now they're only a couple of seconds outside Craig Pollard's lap record, where we were miles away from that yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. 2:08.52, Craig Pollard's lap record from last July. The two leaders nearly a quarter of a minute ahead of everybody else. There's Scholes up to 8th, then Farmer 9th, and Gloucester in 10th place. That's the fight for 3rd place we can see on screen now, just coming out of the Wilson hairpin. Peter Belsey, number 61, and Matt Harbert's number 33. They're turning their way through the left-hander at Palmer now, whereas the leaders are already out of Agostini. Such is the deficit there. You can just see in the background a brief flash of the leaders, but I'm afraid we've not seen too much of them on the live stream during the course of this race, but really the action has been a bit further back, including in this battle for 3rd place, where you've got Peter Belsey, who's very experienced in Formula V, doesn't do all of the championship rounds, but usually there or thereabouts when he does appear, and he's keeping Matt Harper, who's a relative newcomer to the championship, has had a podium finish at Brands Hatch in the past, managing to keep him at bay for the moment.
Yes, but he's been catching really, hasn't he? Because there was a gap at one stage, so Harbert looking for his best result of this season. There are the leaders, and Craig Belley's close, but not close enough at this stage. Yesterday he led into the last corner and spun at the final bend, stayed on the podium but lost the win. Belsey is defending. Matt Harbert's not bothering with the slipstream. He thinks if you're going to go over there, well, you can. But if anything, actually, Belsey must have made a good exit to the previous corner, because his gap looks a bit better. And he, was a much bigger margin all of a sudden, so that was all a bit weird, really. But Belsey is 3rd. 4th is Harbert as they turn their way towards the end of lap 6. And Harbert with his arm at the cockpit there, briefly. I wonder if all is well there with his car, because all of a sudden he's not on terms with Peter Belsey like he was.
No, he's lost quite a bit of ground during the course of this lap, hasn't he? So we're going to come through. The leaders have just completed lap 6, so we're on to what will be the final lap of the race here. There goes Belsey, yeah, and it's a second or so now that he has in hand over Harbert. And then there's actually quite a decent gap back then to Peter Studer, who is still 5th, number 5, Vaughan Jones, who is 6th, number 3. But the leader's working the last lap now. There is Craig Bell in 2nd place, and he's fallen further back behind the leader, even during the course of this lap so far, because the gap was 1.1 at the start of the lap, and it looks like it's a bit more than that now with Matt Hyde in the ascendancy. Yeah,
Craig Bell had a bit of a moment at Ritchie's. He carried a lot of speed into the corner, maybe a little bit too much, and he ran wide. But I think that might have put him off. So is it going to be 4 in a row for Hyde in this factory Alan Harding run Dominator? See the AHS logo on the side of the car. 6th form student Matthew Hyde. It's great to have youngsters in the Formula V Championship. It's great to have a big grid as well. Pretty much the biggest single-seater, single-category grid in the UK this season. And Matthew Hyde, after a beginning of the season where we had 3 winners in the first 3 races, but all of a sudden Matthew Hyde, it looks like he's going to take 4 in a row and really stamp his authority on the championship heading into the second half.
Yeah, I say still 3 meetings to go. Silverstone, Anglesey, and Alton Park. So he's not won this championship yet by any stretch of the imagination. But after a learning season last year, I think he showed at times that he had the pace to win races, and only in the last few weeks has he started to do that. But I think we always thought this might happen, and it's been good to see him develop. He nearly made the kind of mistake that Craig Bell did at the final corner yesterday, but he didn't quite do it. He is going to come through the final corner to connect 4 and take the checkered flag and win again in the Martins Group Formula V Championship.